Okay, welcome back to another trade recap. Let's just move that out of the way a little bit. Welcome back to another trade recap, guys. We're going to be going over what a banger day. I mean, just holy fuck. We made $1,500 on the day overall. So yeah, we hit, well, it was meant to be 1 to 2, so 4%, but we were shy of a percent. But yeah, we made $1,500 on the day, so I cannot complain. And it's only Tuesday. Holy fuck. Here is the execution of this Euro USD trade just there. And here is the position just there. So let's go straight into it. Let's break this down and why I took a sell. So yeah, earlier I mentioned that I took this buy over here somewhere. I think it was about there. And we went for a previous day high thingy, so we went for a quick 1 to 2.5, so it was like a 1 to 3. So earlier I went over that trade, and then I did take this opposite trade. Now this trade I did not expect to go here. If I was expecting it to be the weekly move, I would have just held and I would have made a shit ton, but it was not part of my plan, and so cannot dwell over that too much. So I did end up just taking a 1 to 2 on this. So let's go. Coming into New York session. So obviously coming into the day, I was bullish until we came into this area. Now this area for me is super key. It is a daily BPR. All right, we have this fair value gap inversion, okay, from on the left, and then we also have this daily fair value gap, which I don't know if you guys can see, but it is going from here to here. So we have this BPR that we were trading it, right? Beautiful. Okay, we tapped it perfectly, and so I was looking for a reaction. Now I'm not looking for the weekly distribution, right? If you think about weekly profiles, let me just break it down for you guys very quickly. Weekly profiles, and I've broken this down before on a previous video, works something like this. If you are expecting a bearish week, which in this week we are expecting the high of the week to be printed on a Monday and Tuesday, and then the body to be on a Wednesday and Thursday, and then the wick retracement back up on a Friday. That is kind of how we're expecting a weekly candle to go, right? We're having the high of the week be early on in the week, okay, because it's a bearish candle, and then we're getting the big body close, or the body on the Wednesday and Thursday, and then we're looking for that Friday retracement to create that wick back up, okay? That is how, you know, the power of 3 and the weekly candles work. So if we're looking at this candle over here, Monday and Tuesday to create the wick, Wednesday and Thursday to create the body, Friday to create that little retracement up. All right. So personally, I wasn't a fan of wanting to sell this New York session, if I'm being honest, because I'm only looking to take the highest quality setups at the minute because the market's just shit. So I was just really hands off. I'm waiting for a confirmation date. However, we had a perfect sell opportunity for a quick 1 to 2. Why? We're in this fair value gap. Okay, GU at the time was also in this fair value gap, and it did not inverse the 4 hour. And for me, the fact that it did not inverse this 4 hour meant that we're probably going to start getting a retracement now. Okay, because if we're looking at bro, I'm blown up. If we're looking at London was very impulsive to the upside. We had this huge distribution up. And when we're overbought in a market, this is what it looks like. And so I was really looking for price to start trading down. At the same time, added confluences for that, we had this, we did inverse this hourly, but I wasn't too fussed because of the 2 hour and the 4 hour, just beautiful. But we had this hourly flat body low resting above this hourly fair value gap. So that was my TP, okay? Now, yes, I could have held for the EQ and of this range, and so I could have squeezed easily another 2 hour out of this. However, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't a fan of trading this afternoon. So if I was going to take this, nice quick setup, and then I'm done for the day, right? $1,500 is not bad on 250Ks, right? So that's what we did. We simply was waiting for this to be taken. So what we did is we waited for the 4 hour to close at 2 o'clock, and then we open up a new 4 hour. Now the open of this new 4 hour was perfect. If we're looking at how we opened, if we go on the 1 minute, so this was at 1:39. We have this beautiful 4 hour sweep of the previous one. Okay, We have this huge sweep just there, and it is perfect. Why? Again, because of how we've opened with a flat body low. So I'm expecting price to trade higher, so open high, close low. That's what I was kind of expecting with this, or at least flip this candle to create the wick and at least get a wick into this flat body low, right? So that was my idea behind this trade. So once we had this kind of hourly sweep, hourly total sweep, okay, just here, I was then simply looking for an entry model. Okay, every other thing was ticked off. Now this is where the source comes in. I saw a lot of people take GU. Okay, GU was not bad because at the time it was slightly lagging, and we did kind of have this SMT be put in. I wasn't expecting the SMT to hold, if I'm being honest, because of this candle. Normally with an SMT you're looking for a rejection whip, not something like that. So I wasn't really expecting it to hold, and you know, when we printed these equal highs, it was quite obvious this was going to get induced. And then people were taking it off 3-minute CSD. This isn't bad, but the reason I stayed away from GU and stuck with EU was simply because of what the DXY was looking like. To me, the DXY was looking better because we had this daily kind of EQ tap, which was beautiful. We had a sweep of the new hourly low, okay, just here. And if you look at the previous hour, it did fuck all. Then we had this beautiful sweep of the EQ, okay. And if I go on the fucking 1 minute, just look at this. This shit looked primed to be taken. There is no impulsiveness. It is pure LRL. And so that's why I decided to take DXY, simply because of how much LRL there was. And what pair is most likely going to follow DXY more, GU or EU? Obviously EU. EU is oppositely correlated to DXY. GU isn't really. GU, yes, it has the LRL, but I'm also trading the DXY than EU itself, okay? Because this, no fucking displacement. Look at the 15-minute candles, nothing. It's going to get taken, and where's it going to get taken from? The most likely point of this to be fucking swept is from the EQ of this range, from the 4 hour, from the daily. You know, that's what I'm looking for. Again, I was not expecting this to happen, okay? And we got that, but I can't predict that, unfortunately, and therefore I'm not going to hold for it. Do you know what I mean? I'm just going to take my piece of the pie and then be done for the day. So yeah, with this LRL, that is why I took EU. And so going on to EU, entry model was super simple for me. Looking for 3-minute change of state delivery, which we got right here. Now the 2-minute was also super nice, because we also did get this change of state, I think, at the time. Or did we wake up? Yeah, got this change of state. Now how did I enter this trade? Very simple. I waited for a tiny pullback. Did I? No, I think I entered on the candle close. Yeah, I definitely entered on here, and because my stop was really tight, right? 3.8 pip stop, and I simply just added like five. I just did 5 pips minimum. That allowed me to get this entry. Now, if I wanted to enter here, my stop would be in the same place, and it'd actually have to be higher. But if price were to go over here, then this trade idea is invalidated anyway. So that's why I entered on the candle close, simply on this little wick, simply because it doesn't matter where my stop is, it's still about a pip or almost 2 pips above this high. So for me, it didn't really matter. That's why I entered on here, on this wick, literally on there. I remember now because I was kind of stuttering at the time. I was like, fuck it, yes, I'll do it. And then like I said, my TP was ever so slightly just past this flat body. I think it was a 1 to 2 exact. And price just dumped. Now at the time I wasn't even looking. I was on futures, which the trade recap will come out straight after this one, because I fucking slapped 3 fucking bangers today. 3-0 on the day, which is just insane. Never normally take 3 trades in one day, but there you go. And I was just out, and that was fine. I was happy with my piece of the pie. I made enough money. You know, I made like people's fucking monthly salary after tax, you know, in a single day. So I'm not going to be greedy and go for this. Now, if this was Wednesday or Thursday, then yes, I would extend my TP at least to Asia low or to these London lows right here. Okay, that's what I do. But it is not a Wednesday or Thursday. It is a Tuesday, so I've got to follow what my plan says. And my plan says, take your piece of the pie and get out where you can. And so that was the trade. And then I did see, this is where GU fucked EU. We had this huge SMT we put in, and EU for GU, we had that obviously get swept. Okay, now that is why I mean, I am lucky that I didn't take GU, but also the fact that I didn't take GU is because of this hourly fair value gap. Again, looking at EU, there is no hourly fair value gap except down here, so it also does make sense for this to happen, right? And it's so frustrating because one of my mates took GU, and I don't, it would have been nice for him not to, but is what it is. This happened on every single pair, I'm pretty sure. Even on gold, this happened. Yeah, it was something in the mind. I think Trump tweeted or something. I don't know, but there you go. And then obviously price just continues to melt from here. It goes back up, and just melts. And so yeah, but again, this was not part of my plan to hold this much, so cannot be upset. So overall on the day on the CFDs, we made 8% on across some challenges, and we made about 3.5% on my funded. So yeah, done for the day, and very happy with how I did it, how I played it. So yeah, coming into tomorrow, as a little added little bit for you lot, coming into tomorrow, what am I expecting? It's a bit of a tricky situation right now because we have inversed this 4 hour. It looks like we could actually react off here, but I would love for this high to be swept, or at least get some sort of reaction from here. This would be perfect. This would be like A+, and I'd bet my house on it, and I'd literally trade every single challenge I have on this trade, because this is perfect. Even looking at GU, I'm hoping, like, the fact that we're reacting from these 4 hours, we've come into the EQ of this little 4 hour swing perfectly. Like, even if you have it from this all the way here, we've tapped it perfectly. It looks like we could potentially be getting a previous day high sweep. This will be previous day high come tomorrow, or when next market crossover, and it could be that we do get SMT at these highs. And once we get SMT at these highs, a swing position as well from like here, and just covering the high, expecting Tuesday to be high of week, trying to hit, it's like a 5R. So there's loads of opportunity for tomorrow. It really does depend how Asia is. Looking at this is a bit tricky, because DXY, again, we are fucking rejecting this order block. We've already traded into it. We've traded back into it. We have a fair value gap somewhere around here. Yeah, I did think we did. We have an hourly fair value gap around here that we are also rejecting. But the added thing is that we have had this break of structure on the hourly, and so we have in turn created an order block. So again, it would really depend on how Asia performs overnight. And if it's the case of like Asia, we trade lower, then I will be waiting for this sweep to be taken on either currency or DXY, and then SMT put in. If Asia decides to trade higher for some reason, which by all means it could, like this, then I'll be looking for like a continuation and trade back up to this high or this high. So that's kind of how I'm going to play it. But looking at GU, I mean, yes, we have inverse all these hourlies, but on the 4 hour, we are respecting it. It makes more sense for GU to at least take this high. Like, if Asia can just trade a little bit higher and we get continuation to previous day high, that'd be perfect. I probably wouldn't take it at that point, but that'd be perfect. And then EU, if we get that SMT put in, sauce. I'll be full point everything on my life. But there you go. So yeah, that is trade recap. Beautiful day, banger day, Tuesday. We've had a brilliant start to the week. Yesterday I didn't trade. Did I not trade? No, yesterday I didn't trade. And then today we've absolutely smashed it. And this is what being patient, before I end this, being patient and saving your capital for days where you are 100% confident on your positions is so important. There's so many. I've faded a trade yesterday. I've faded holding a little bit higher on and actually just taking my money. I've faded trades on NQ yesterday and even today, because it's like, yeah, they could work out, but there's going to be days where I know they have like a 90% chance of working out, in a sense. So I'd rather save my capital for that, and that comes with experience, but that also comes with just being patient and understanding that if you're funded, especially, keep your capital, especially in these markets. The shit is peak. So yeah, just saving your capital for days that you're confident in is really important, and that's what we've done, and we've done well. So yeah, Perfect. I will see you guys in the next trade recap, which will be MNQ right now.